Elena stood by the tall window of her high-rise apartment, staring out over the city skyline as dusk painted the buildings gold. The silence inside was heavy, almost oppressive. Just 5 years ago, her life had been full of noise. Laughter, arguments, music, the smell of home-cooked meals, and the presence of one man who had loved her deeply. Daniel. They had been married for 8 years. Daniel was not flashy or ambitious in the way Elena wanted him to be. He worked as a high school teacher, adored literature, and found joy in simple things: sunsets, secondhand books, and lazy Sunday breakfasts. Elena, on the other hand, craved movement, excitement, a life that shimmered with success and sophistication. When her career as a marketing executive took off, she began to outgrow the quiet, modest life they had built together. She felt stifled by Daniel's lack of ambition, irritated by his slow pace and contentment. She wanted more: finer things, better connections, a partner who could match her energy and climb. So one spring morning, she told him she wanted a divorce. Daniel didn't fight. He simply looked at her, his eyes filled with a mixture of pain and understanding. "If this is what you truly want," he said, "I won't stand in your way." She moved out the next week. She got the condo, the promotion, and eventually the attention of men who wined and dined her. For a while it felt like freedom, like winning, but time is a patient teacher. Years passed. The excitement dimmed. The flings faded. Friends married, had children, moved on. She dated here and there, but no one stayed. None of them looked at her the way Daniel had. None of them listened the way he used to. Her apartment, once a symbol of independence, began to feel like a glass cage. One evening, out of impulse and nostalgia, she drove to the old neighborhood. Her heart pounded as she turned onto the familiar street where she and Daniel had once lived. The house looked different, updated, but warm. She didn't get out of the car. Later that week, she learned through a mutual friend that Daniel had remarried. A woman named Grace, an artist. They had a little boy. He had left teaching and opened a bookstore downtown. Photos online showed him smiling, arms around his wife and child, eyes bright. Elena felt a weight crush her chest. She hadn't expected to hurt like this. She called him once just to hear his voice. He answered politely, warmly even, but there was distance in his tone. He had moved on. She wanted to say something, anything to express her regret. But all she could manage was, "You look happy." "I am," he said softly. "I hope you are too." But she wasn't. Elena now understood that Daniel hadn't been the one holding her back. He had been the anchor in her storm, the calm she hadn't appreciated. Her pursuit of more had cost her the one thing that truly mattered, and now it was too late. She hung up the phone, sat alone in her condo, and wept. Not just for what she lost, but for the realization that some